Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Judy, and today we're going to talk about judging ourselves. Before we get started though, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button for me, I'd really appreciate it. This is a subject I think that I could show you so many examples. I could talk about so many things. We could talk for hours. I won't do that to you. Judging ourselves spiritually is an important thing to understand. And the side effect of that spiritually. But there certainly is a human toll that occurs, which of course in the long run is the spiritual thing too. So there's lots of different reasons why we judge ourselves. Mostly it's insecurities, low self-esteem. Maybe we're just used to doing it. Maybe we were, as we were growing up, somebody was always judging us, so that we just kind of picked up that negative talk and kept going. It runs our life. Negative talk that's in your head is running your life. Your whole life. Everything you do. Every breath you take, every place you go, every thought you have. Every job you have, the way you eat, the way you sleep. That little negative voice in your head is running your life. It's in charge. And if it's in charge long enough, you start thinking you can't live without it. It's almost like, you oftentimes see these stories on TV or in the news or whatever of some woman who was abused. First it started, verbally. She was put down for several years. And, why did she end up with somebody like that anyway? Probably she came from that kind of household where she was put down. That was normal for her. She didn't even think it was abnormal. In her mind, that's how all relationships were. So when she met up with some guy who treated her like that, not only was it normal, it was familiar, and it felt comfortable because it was familiar. So this woman, she's in this relationship, and after a few years, after whoever this guy is, he's her husband or her partner, whatever, he's abusing her emotionally and mentally, and then he starts physically abusing her, smacking her around, pushing her, that kind of thing. And at some point, maybe he kills her. And the whole time, people were telling her, you've got to leave him, you've got to leave him. Why didn't she just leave? All she had to do. That woman had negative talk and fear, because not only was he abusing her, he was telling her, you wouldn't be able to do this without me. I'll take all the money. You won't have anything. He made her feel like nobody else would want her. She had nothing to offer, and she had nothing physically. She had no money. She had whatever. He was going to take it all. And her self-esteem was so low that she was terrified. She was also terrified to leave in case he would find her and really hurt her. Why did she stay, people say? She did not know she had a choice. She was completely blinded by his voice and the extra voice in her head that was saying, yep, he's right, you can't do it, you won't be able to, because she was raised in a home where that's where she was taught about herself. I'm not saying that's true with every situation, of course. But do you understand why sometimes we get stuck in our own thoughts, and that negative talk won't shut up? And we start making decisions to quiet it down. Usually it's an addiction of some kind. People are taking drugs, they're drinking, they're gambling, they're having sex, doing whatever they have to do to shut the negative voice up. And it never really works. None of it works. It works temporarily. You have a little break. And then it comes back. Usually louder, because now it's telling you how shitty you are because you had too many drinks. Sorry for swearing. This is a hot subject for me. And so people who are maybe having some kind of addiction issue, maybe have low self-esteem to start with, find themselves depressed, find themselves without work, find themselves feeling very alone and incapable of ever imagining having a loving relationship. And the shame is the thing that they're doing, the addiction, the drinking, the drugs, the working out, whatever it is they're addicted to that's trying to cover over this, shut this voice up. By doing this thing to cover up and shut the voice up, they're actually making the situation worse. Because instead of shutting it up temporarily, or covering over what it's like, la 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 la, you can only do that for so long. They need to evict the voice. What gives you the inspiration to evict the voice? Usually you need help. Therapy, behavioral therapy maybe, rehab that has a good behaviorist that maybe you can continue working with. It's hard to do it alone. But the first step is always going to be, I'm frigging sick of living like this. And my only two choices are for it to keep getting worse or for me to evict the voice and make it better. Nobody can fix it but you. Nobody can come into your life and fix it. They can make it a little easier, a little better. They can even enable it. But they can't fix it. As long as you're choosing to judge yourself, and who is the judge? The voice. Not you, not the real you. The real you is experiencing something that probably is necessary for soul's growth. But remember what I said in another video, if you watched all my videos. I've said this once or twice. We have a destiny. We have a reason to be in this life. We've chosen it. We set up the situation with perhaps other souls, and now here we are. Do we have to continue for the rest of our life in this situation to be really darn sure that we get the point? We don't. As soon as we're sure that this is not working, that I'm not happy, that this is a crappy way to live, as soon as we're 100% certain of that, we have the power and the opportunity and the choice, free choice, to say, all right then, I'm going to make this better. I'm going to do something to get myself out of this situation because I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. So it starts with you. Your soul's journey, the reason for your being here, doesn't mean you're stuck here and you have to do something, you have to keep doing this till you die. It just means you're here, you've gotten to this thing, you've learned this horrible lesson. Now what? Now you got to make a choice. The nice thing is nobody's holding a gun to your head. Nobody's telling you you can't do it. Nobody's telling you that you won't have any money. Nobody's telling you that nobody else wants you. Oh wait, there is somebody telling you that. The voice. You go to evict them. You got to tell them whatever words you want to use, get the heck out. Leave me alone. Go talk to somebody else because you're giving me a line of BS. Once you stop judging yourself, letting this judge you, it's not you. You are soul. You are fine. You are loved and you are love. But this voice, the lesson here is shut the heck up. Go away. How empowered would you feel if you let that happen, right? When we judge ourselves, we hold our soul back and we actually drag our soul down, and you know what I'm going to say next, along with everybody we love. Now we'll all recover. That's what life is about, the experience. But how nice is it to think that you can say to that voice, which is basically honestly nothing, there's nothing there, not really, go away, I'm tired of living like this, go bother somebody else or go jump in the river because I don't want you here anymore. I'm done with you. Every time you open your mouth, I'm going to flick you away. We all come up with you. Spiritually, if you're in a bad situation, a negative situation, things aren't going your way, you've made some bad choices, and now you're learning to live with the consequences. Okay. Good experience. You don't have to keep doing it. Once you figured out that this is BS, and this is not what you want to do, and this is not the life you wanted, you actually have the right and the freedom to change it. You have to want it. Somebody else can't change it for you. You've got to want it. You are stronger than the voice because you have strength within. You have the strength that comes from knowing. Because your soul knows. Right? Shake it off. Oh, I know. It's not that easy. I know. It's a lot of work. Will the work be worth it? Will the time you put into getting rid of the voice be worth it? Imagine your life without those thoughts. Imagine your life if you felt good about who you are and everything you did was something that built you up instead of dragging you further down. Shut the you-know-what up and get out of my life. You're not helping me. I don't need you. Go jump in the river and don't hold your breath. Just go on down to the bottom. When we stop judging ourselves, when we stop listening to that voice, the sun comes out. Oh, life can still be a challenge. Guess what though? You're up for it. We don't have to be sad. We don't have to be lonely. We don't have to live alone. We don't have to be broke. All of that is up to us. It's a choice we make. Or we just sit there and listen to everything he says. He's right. I'm worthless. Yeah, I know. Nobody will ever love me. Yeah, I know. I'm probably going to be living on the streets soon. I have nothing. I am nothing. What choice are you going to make? There's always a choice. Does it require hard work and commitment? Yeah, it does. But you're already working pretty hard. You're already working really, really hard at letting your whole life go down the tubes because the voice told you to. No, you're not schizophrenic. That's a whole other video. No, I'm not even going to talk about that. So how about helping me? Lift me up. Lift yourself. We're all worth it. We're all worth being loved. We're all worth having love. We're all worth all the good things that life has to give us. And sure, we trip along the way. Sure, there's crap that happens. But when the voice is gone, it only affects you this much. Instead of you in a pool where you're not even treading anymore, you're just like looking up at the light, wishing you could hit the top for some air. Make a choice. And then commit to it. Stop judging yourself. God doesn't judge you. That speaks volumes. Hit the like button if you thought I said anything that was worthwhile. And I'll see you soon. Thanks.